A gentle knock sounded on the blue door of Mama Amara's house. 6-year-old Kofi opened it and saw a woman who looked just like Mama Amara. Kofi's eyes grew wide. He whispered, "Mama?" The woman smiled shyly and held up a polished silver tray. On it lay neat bowls of rice and beans. Kofi stepped back. This was not his mother. Mama Amara hurried downstairs, her working apron still tied tight. The visitor's voice trembled as she said, "Hello, I'm Amina, your new helper." Everyone stared, puzzled by how much she looked like Mama. Mama Amara set aside her basket of fresh yams and studied Amina's face. They shared the same bright brown eyes and gentle smile. Mama's heart pounded. She asked, "Where did you come from?" Amina quieted, shifting her weight. "I traveled from a village across the river," she said. Papa Kwame, who was fixing the roof, came down to see. He frowned at the two identical faces. Little Abena, age 4, fingered Mama's skirt and asked, "Why are there two mamas?" Amina lowered her head, unsure. No one could explain the surprise visitor, who looked exactly like Mama Amara. That afternoon, Mama Amara watched Amina help Kofi carry water from the well. Amina poured water gently into pots and laughed when Kofi splashed his feet. Her laugh was the same warm sound Mama made when she played games. But Amina wore a plain green dress, not Mama's bright cloth wrap. Over and over, Mama looked at Amina, trying to understand. "Tell me about your home," Mama asked softly. Amina said, "I lived with Aunt Binta near the mango trees." Kofi held his sister Abena's hand tight. Everyone wondered how Amina could be so much like Mama and still be a stranger. That evening, Mama Amara sat on the low stool by the fire. Amina swept the dirt floor with careful strokes. The children ate their dinner, sweet yams and pepper soup. Papa Kwame watched quietly, stroking his chin. After the meal, Mama asked again, "How is it that you look just like me?" Amina's eyes widened. She stopped sweeping and whispered, "I do not know." Her face looked sad. Kofi climbed into Mama's lap and closed his eyes. He asked, "Will you stay?" Amina nodded slowly. No one understood why she fit the family so perfectly, and yet did not belong. The next morning, Mama Amara found an old photograph of herself as a baby. She had never shown it to anyone. In the picture, she wore a simple cloth like Amina's dress and lay on a small straw mat. Mama studied the tiny baby face, then looked at Amina sweeping outside. "That photo," she murmured. Papa Kwame lifted the picture. He said, "They could be sisters." Mama's eyes filled with tears. She whispered, "But I have no sister." Kofi looked up, curious. Amina paused, watching the scene. The house felt quiet and heavy, as if the photograph held a secret no one understood yet. Mama Amara decided to ask Grandma Essie, who lived in the hill village. She packed a small basket with bread and fruit. Papa Kwame carried Kofi and Abena on his back. Amina followed quietly at the back. The dirt path wound through tall grasses and baobab trees. On the way, Amina bent down to pick flowers for Abena. The children laughed as petals rained around them. Mama remembered how she used to visit Grandma as a girl. Amina watched Mama's eyes sparkle with memories. No words passed between them about how similar they looked, yet both felt they were walking toward an important answer. At Grandma Essie's hut, smoke curled from a clay pot. Grandma sat on a wooden stool, her silver hair in neat braids. She beamed when she saw Mama, but when she saw Amina, her smile froze. "My child," Grandma whispered, "who is this?" Mama knelt and held up the old photograph. Grandma's eyes shone with sadness. She said, "You were born together, 2 sisters, but long ago, I could not feed you both." Amina gasped. Kofi and Abena clung to Mama's skirts. Papa Kwame held Amina's hand. The truth felt both heavy and gentle, like the hush before sunset. That night, Mama Amara and Papa Kwame sat outside under bright stars. Amina stood nearby, holding the old photograph. The children slept inside. Mama's voice trembled. She said, "Grandma had to make a choice. Only one baby could stay with her." Amina nodded, tears falling softly. Papa squeezed her hand. "We always hoped you might come back," he said. Mama touched Amina's cheek. "I never knew I had a sister until now." Amina gave a small, sad smile. Above them, fireflies danced. The family sat in silence, joined by a sense of wonder and bittersweet relief. The next day, they all returned to Mama Amara's house. Amina stepped across the threshold with Mama and Papa beside her. Kofi and Abena ran ahead to show her their toys. The little yard filled with laughter again. Mama showed Amina how to tend the small garden of maize and okra. Amina learned quickly, her hands moving with care. Papa taught her to repair the broken fence. With each task, Amina felt more welcome. Kofi hugged her and said, "You can play with me." Abena offered her doll. Amina's eyes glowed. The house felt warmer, filled with hope that a lost sister was now found. In the afternoon, Mama Amara invited neighbors to meet Amina. They gathered under the shade of a large mango tree. Amina greeted each visitor shyly. They smiled and nodded. "Welcome," they said. Mama introduced Amina as her sister, and the neighbors cheered. Uncle Owusu brought fresh mango slices. Aunt Zainab offered millet cakes. The children chased each other laughing. Amina's smile grew wide. She felt the arms of a new family. Mama Amara watched, her heart full. At that moment, Amina knew she belonged, and though she had begun as a stranger, she was now embraced by love and shared stories. Days turned into weeks. Amina woke each morning to the sound of roosters and children's laughter. Mama taught her old lullabies. Papa showed her how to carry water gracefully. Kofi and Abena raced to greet her at dawn. Amina helped prepare breakfast of sweet porridge and bananas. The yard filled with warm smells. Each evening, they sat together and shared stories of their day. Amina told tales of the riverbank in her old village. Mama retold memories of her own childhood. The children listened wide-eyed. Simple tasks and shared meals wove their lives together, chapter by chapter. One afternoon, Papa Kwame found a small wooden box hidden under a floorboard. Inside were 2 matching bracelets carved from polished wood. Each had a tiny swirl pattern. Mama smiled as she held one bracelet in each hand. "Grandma gave these to us when we were babies," she said softly. Amina's hand shook as she wore hers. Kofi and Abena clapped excitedly. "Now we all have bracelets," they cheered. Papa fastened the clasps. The swirl patterns glowed in the sun. In that simple moment, Amina felt the sisterly bond as real as the bracelets on their wrists. As the rainy season began, dark clouds rolled across the sky. Mama Amara and Amina gathered buckets to catch water from the thatched roof. Papa fixed leaks with strips of palm leaf. Kofi and Abena danced in puddles. Amina laughed so hard she nearly tripped. Mama joined in, her skirt swirling. The rain sounded like soft drums. Inside, warm light glowed from the hearth. That night, they stayed close by the fire. Amina whispered, "I am happy here." Mama hugged her tight. Papa kissed the top of her head. The house felt snug, safe, and full of sisterly love. One bright morning, the village chief came to visit. He held a rolled scroll tied with ribbon. He bowed to Mama Amara and said, "We have chosen you both to teach children about family and kindness." Mama and Amina exchanged joyful glances. They unrolled the scroll. It invited them to tell their story at the village school. Kofi and Abena cheered. That afternoon, Mama and Amina stood before a circle of children under a baobab tree. They spoke of sharing, caring, and forgiveness. Amina's voice was steady and warm. The children smiled and clapped. Together, they showed how a family can grow, even after pain. Years later, the garden bloomed with bright flowers and tall maize stalks. Kofi and Abena were older, but still visited Amina daily. Mama and Amina sat together on the porch, hands entwined. Papa brought fresh mango juice. They watched the sun sink behind distant hills. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves. Mama said, "I am grateful for every day with you." Amina nodded, her eyes soft. "I am grateful we are together." The bracelets on their wrists caught the last light of day. 2 sisters once apart now shared one family, strong, loving, and forever joined. Right if. This story touched your heart. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more. Emotional, mysterious, and inspiring stories. Until next time, thank you for watching.